Hi, my name is Asante Johnson, and I'm an instructional designer here in the College of Arts and Sciences. Today, we're going to take a look at an online course built by faculty member Nancy Snider. Nancy Snider is a professor in the Performing Arts Department, and she specifically teaches music here. She is going to show us some innovative ways that she has utilized her online course using Blackboard and other online tools to engage and to innovate with her students. Stephanie, you want to take us away?
Thank you, Asante. My name is Stephanie Coe, and I am an instructional designer for the Center for Teaching, Research, and Learning. And hey, Nancy, where are you?
Hey, Stephanie. I was in the forest taking a walk on this beautiful day. It's so nice to see you today.
It's so great to see you, Nancy.
Yep,
Let's talk a little bit about your surroundings here.
Well, these surroundings are the surroundings I use when I'm talking about Igor Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, because these are the original sets to that magnificent work. It's a ballet, and one of the things I like to do with my students is I like to give them listening as they're waiting for class to start, and also a visual as they're waiting for class to start, and just to kind of prime their mind, get them interested in wondering why I'm entering from the forest on this particular day or whatever I'm doing. It's just something fun that I like to do, and I think that one of the things we really need to keep in mind as we continue our journey of online teaching is that it can be fun and it can be relaxing in some ways. And there are lots of things we can do to be the teachers that we are. And we can celebrate that online just like we do in person. Maybe I'll share my screen and show you one more background.
Excellent, excellent. Please
okay.
do.
Here we go. So I'm going into screen share.
Prime the mind.
Yes, and actually I think for this, I should go to do the screen share. Sorry about this. I just need to go here into my video. I'm choosing my virtual backgrounds. I'm going down here to the Newport Folk Festival of 1965, and I'm turning myself into black and white. And I use this background for my students when we are talking about Bob Dylan and the electric guitar and what happened in Newport in 1965. So again, you know, this is just something fun, and I'm sure everybody has similar things that are idiomatic to the courses you teach and the discipline that you're in. But this is just something I wanted to do to break the ice and have fun with you at the start.
This is a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing that, Nancy. Speaking of backgrounds and the environment in which you set the stage for your students, what type of environment have you created in your online class that you feel is effective for your students?
Well, I would say, let me just share my screen with you. I'm going to get back into my backgrounds and go to a nicer background for the presentation. There we go.
Oh.
And now I'm sharing my
screen. Very nice.
Thank you. Okay, here we are. Now, right here you can see my Blackboard course. So anything that's good about what I'm doing online is the total responsibility, and all the credit goes to CTRL for helping me learn and to teach me and inspire me to do this in a good way. But I think maybe when they asked me to do this, I was surprised, because I don't consider this course to have a lot of fancy bells and whistles, but it works very well. And I think the reason why it works well for my students and why it works well for me is because it's organized in a way that I can navigate. And so if I'm at ease and I know how to work through the course, I know that that's going to trickle down to my students, and it will help them be more at ease. Because especially at this point in the semester, we're hearing a lot about stress and things like that. And there are definitely aspects of online teaching that are stressful. And some of them are the fact that we see the first dimension, but then there are many, many, many dimensions beyond that, what we see on our screen, that are available to us and waiting for us to access and navigate as needed. So I think it's really an opportunity, but it can also be tiring, just like playing three-dimensional chess or doing, you know, 6-voice counterpoint or something like that can be tiring because you're working with a lot of different things. But in my case, I kept my organization pretty simple. So this is my announcements page. Every page that I'm on, you could argue that this first announcement is a bit long, but it actually serves as my first lecture before I meet with the students face to face. So it's a bit, you may find it a bit long, it just depends. I think it works pretty well, and I refer to it when I communicate with the students before classes start. So then down here, there's a hyperlink that takes me to my next area on the navigation bar. So here's the navigation bar, here's the title of the course, announcements, and then the next place I'll go will be navigating Blackboard. So I can either go to the navigation panel to access it, or I can just get to the end of this announcement page and go right to my navigating Blackboard site. Now, of course, this is most helpful for students at the beginning, but it's at the beginning that they really, really need us to hold their hand and guide them through. So then they go through this, and then the next thing we talk about is the course description, so they look into that. Then their course orientations, they have the learning outcomes, they have this video that CTRL made me make when I was in my online course, which I did it because I had to, so that's why it's there. Then I have my syllabus, a hearing health and wellness statement that's pretty important for music classes, of course, a picture of me playing my cello so they get to know me, a picture of me teaching, and then my bio is down there. And then from there, we go into the syllabus itself. And this is another thing that my good friends at CTRL made me do, and I was kicking and screaming, and I was like, why do I have to break my syllabus down into all these different sections? My eyes rolled back in my head, and I was totally exasperated with that assignment. And of course, it has proven to be very valuable, because the students, if they just have a question, they can just go right here to the areas of the syllabus without having to navigate the many pages of the syllabus document. And I think they have said that it's been helpful to them. So once again, CTRL is right. Okay. So then I go into my course documents. And this area is something that at the beginning of the semester, they all fill out a questionnaire so I can get to know them a little bit and figure out what kind of topic presentation would be good for them. And then a listening guide, critical part of the course, is here. These are things that they will probably do mostly at the beginning of the semester, but may want to refer back to in terms of the listening guide. The topic presentation guide is one of the most important documents we have, because their topic presentations are really an important component of their work for the course. And so they have a how-to guide right here that they can refer to. The course schedule, likewise, is always of interest. So, you know, these important documents go in here, and, you know, I imagine I'll add some more at different times. The discussions is an area where I like to leave this for the students. And once again, I've somehow ended up in my practice course. So let me go to my real course. I don't know how that happens. Okay, so sorry about that. So when I go into the discussions panel, there's not a whole lot of activity here. This is where the students can meet and chat with each other about different things. What I find is that I link them together via email. If I have, for instance, I have 4 people who want to create a piece of music together. Well, I just made a group for those students, and they're communicating amongst themselves that way, not so much in discussion. But a couple of them have shared music that they're listening to here and a little bit about themselves. So it's good to have it. I haven't quite taken full advantage of that. Library orientation is really important. My good friends in the DPA Music Library put together some videos for how to do research in the main library as well as the DPA Music Library, which is really helpful for the students as they embark on creating the outlines for their topic presentations and their other research. co-curricular calendar. This is just something for my, this is a complex problems class. I have a program leader, so she's in charge of her co-curricular calendar. We also have Liv's marvelous module here so that she can communicate with the students and they can find things pertinent to the program leader student relationship here, things she's talked with them about. And then, you know, everything else is generic. Okay.
I'm very interested that I see that you've organized your courses by week.
Yes, I thought you might be. This is another thing I learned from my online instruction class over the summer, and it was invaluable. So when we go to week 1, as a student in the course, it was really helpful to go through the course to have the weeks and the days assignments laid out for me in such a clear way. And even at that, I remember at first I missed an assignment, but you know, I quickly figured out how it was structured and got myself up to speed with using it, and I found it very helpful. So I wanted to share that with my students as well. So this just has listening journal instructions and what to do there, their listening guide, which helps with the journal instructions, some listening activities for the first couple of pieces we're going to be listening to that get entered into the listening journal, and then their first reading assignment, which has all the things here. Then I have learning outcomes as well.
Excellent.
Okay, and probably would not have included learning outcomes here if it weren't for my class that I took over the summer, but there you go. Week 2 is similar. They have, again, this is a video assignment as well as a listening assignment, listening scavenger hunt, where they take the listening we've done so far and try and hear certain elements from it. And that's a group assignment, so that's fun. One thing I have heard a lot from the students is they really like doing things that socialize them. So I always try to do at least one breakout every class. I try to mix things up a lot for them. I give them these group assignments and connect them as much as possible so that they can get to know each other in a lot of different ways. Also at the beginning of class in the Zoom room, for those who are comfortable, we turn on our cameras, we say hi, they can turn their cameras off. And if they're not comfortable sharing their environment or even their faces, they can post a picture that's either funny or like their avatar, whatever they want to do to try to help the other people in the room get to know them. The socializing and building relationships is such an important part of teaching, and it's no less true in the online environment than it is when we're face to face. So these are just, you know, more reading assignments, some video assignments, and again, more learning outcomes. So that's pretty much it. And then the weeks just continue like that. You can see here I haven't loaded into my content because I want to see where the class takes me and what I think is most important to do when we get to the end. So even though I have all this stuff mapped out, that in no way means it's not flexible and that it's not a live site. I'm constantly adding and changing things to go with the every class is unique, so I want to be sure to honor that in my design. So nothing is fixed, but it's really a lot easier to go from something that's planned out and change things than to have no plan.
This is wonderful.
Yep, these two, just 3 things. So I have the class recordings, even though they can find it in the Zoom site. I load links to the recordings and the important lectures here, right? So you can see that they have all the access info right there if they need it with the date of the course. And then study guides for the quizzes. Some people might think I'm enabling, but I like to think that I'm helping my students by providing them with very detailed study guides that really speak to the content of the quizzes that I'm going to give them. It helps them have success and know what to expect. And then lecture slides. These are just things that they can refer to from my lectures that help them. Okay, so
fantastic. I love the organization and the structure. It leaves students very little questions to ask. It flows incredibly well. I noticed that in your weeks you have assignments, and so that leads to my next question, which is, what are some of the assignments that you are most proud of?
Well, I would have to say that the assignments I'm most proud of are the ones that are idiomatic to the online platform.
Okay.
I was doing a listening assignment with my group, and typically when we're listening together in a face-to-face classroom, we don't want to talk while we're listening because it interrupts the sound. But what I noticed when we did this assignment is that some of the students started using the chat feature to comment about what they were listening to. And
Yes.
that opened up a whole new possibility. Now, of course, I want them to just listen with no, to just soak it in and not feel like they have to react. So we do one listening that way. But then when we do subsequent listenings, then they can comment, well, I heard this, and somebody else can say, well, I heard that. And then, we can compare notes about things, or even just, this is beautiful, or this is really weird, which a lot of the music they're learning in electric music synthetism is definitely foreign to them and disorienting and alienating and makes them uncomfortable. So we can talk about that, and
so there are some things that you can do online that you couldn't have done in person.
Yeah, another thing I really love is my the way I'm able to do this assignment that would have just been sort of a in the classroom listening test, where I would play something for them. They would tell me what it is and whatever they know about it and why it's relevant to our course content. But in this environment, I can give them MP3 audio recordings that are unlabeled. And then as a group, they can go on a scavenger hunt, listen to these things, identify them, find special things, like there's this crazy early instrument called the theremin that sounds like a siren, woo, woo, and they can find the theremin, they can comment, well, we heard the theremin, and then it becomes a kind of fun game. And
love it.
Yeah, I'm not a teacher who, like as a cello teacher, gives a lot of stickers and things, but people, we've got to mix it up. And that's another thing I learned from my summer course, is that, you want to be sure to have a lot of variety. Every once in a while, in my questionnaire, I ask what kind of learners they are. Are they kinesthetic learners? Are they visual? Are they oral? How do they learn best? And for some of them, they're kinesthetic. So periodically during the class, we stand up and we move around a little bit, and that's a little bit harder to do online, but not really. And I just think the important thing is to remember that it's all about the teaching. It's all about the relating. It's all about connecting with people. And, we're doing it online, but it's great that we can do it online,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially
Absolutely.
Now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Was there anything else that you wanted to show us before we conclude?
Well, I don't think there's anything more I want to show you. I would just say that, I know everybody is doing similarly, finding these idiomatic ways to use the online platform, being creative, working within their discipline, things that are appropriate for the discipline. And I just, I think everybody's doing a fantastic job. And so I'm just adding my voice to the chorus, not as an expert, but just as a fellow teacher who loves to teach and loves interacting with my students and colleagues. And so I thank all of you very much for giving me this opportunity to do that.
Thank you very much, Nancy. This has been wonderful. This is a lot of fun.
Yep, it is a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, for joining us today. I had one final closing question. So looking at the amazing setup that you have in your Blackboard course, how eager are you, or how excited are you to possibly transition over to Canvas soon, since we know that transition is going to happen? You talked a lot about the organization of your course, which I thought was phenomenal. So does this ease the stress a little bit of knowing that you have to transfer over to Canvas eventually, or how do you feel about that?
I feel fine about it. It's something I have to do, and it's not something I wanted to do with only a week or two before classes started, because I was really just finding my my mojo in my Blackboard site. So I didn't want to learn a new learning management system so close to the start of classes. But I've been working with some of my other classes in Canvas to get oriented. I will take advantage of the CTRL. Probably not. I'll probably do a boot camp, because I think that what I know now about Blackboard is going to, from what everybody tells me, it's going to be very applicable to Canvas. And I'm not stressed out about it. It's just something I have to do. It's on my to-do list, and I'm looking forward to, learning. One of the things that was really great about this summer was learning. I'm happy to learn a new skill. It's kind of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was also rewarding to learn and to be able to interact with great teachers that I had in my online teaching course. And so it, you know, I just think it's it can all be positive, and despite the fact that it's draining in different ways, I think we just have to embrace that and learn how to, you know, we always accumulate stress no matter whether there's a pandemic or not. And I think that the thing that I've learned, I think mainly from playing my cello and performing, is that we accumulate tension, and at the same time we learn how to get rid of it. And so, you know, I always tell my students and myself, you know, shake your hand with your nervousness or whatever it is that you feel, make friends with it, figure out how to deal with it, and give it the time and space that it needs. You know, if your students are tired, give them some time, give them some space. Same for you. You know, we're in it, you know, hand in hand with our students. They're not more tired than we are. We're not more tired than they are. You know, we're all learning what this new environment is like. And I've been really drawn to movies and things about outer space, because I feel a little bit like an astronaut these days, because the way that I'm communicating with the world is this way, through the screen. And you know, there is a way for us to have these very meaningful, authentic communications, build relationships, make new friends. All of that stuff is possible. And you know, it's a brave new world that we're in, and I'm, you know, it's okay, and I'm not stressed about it. Yes, and I do have one more thing, that if I don't consider myself an expert by any stretch, but if anybody needs any help, I'm here to help. Anybody that thinks they might want to ask me a question or something, they just have to send me an email.
Thank you so much, Professor Snider, for welcoming us into your online learning environment. We really enjoyed speaking with you today.
And I enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.